Velocity, level 7 upgrade. Hey guys, today I am back with my maxed out mini E-Revo Velocity. Now when I say maxed out, I mean we've all seen him, he is pretty maxed out. Still a couple things I can actually do with him though, but he's pretty much there. So today, it's just a simple cosmetic upgrade. It's nothing super handy or helps with a lot of stuff. It's just a simple cosmetic upgrade, and I'm doing some carbon fiber red vinyl cover up on the Savox servos for both of them. Now, for the longest time, I've always hated looking at it because of the clash between the light blue and the red. So I'm going to be using these to cover up the light blue, at least on the tops. I don't know if I got enough, but if I'll find out soon enough. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both servos out. I'll show you guys how to do that, and I'll be covering them up and putting them back on. So let's get to it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the ESC and motor first. And all I got to do is disconnect the motor from the ESC. Come on. And as you guys can see, I did end up replacing the shrink wrap on the ends. They were falling apart, so I just took what I had and replaced them. I think they look a lot better to me, but just so you guys know, I did that too. You open the door and you can slide the ESC out, and then you can just screw out this one screw that holds the motor in place. When that's done, you can pull off to the side and slide it right on out. With the motor out of the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the receiver box, and it's held on with 4 screws, 2 for the wire tie and then 2 for the receiver box itself. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to unplug the 2 servos, and then we're going to move on from there. Now that I have the servos unplugged from the receiver, I can now remove them from the car, and they're held on with 3 screws, 2 to the chassis, which go through and go to the servo guard, and then 1 to go onto the servo horn. When that's done, you can just remove the 2 servos, and then we can move on from there. Alright guys, as you can see, I have put in the vinyl wrap over one of the 2 servos, and it looks really good. Now how I did it was I took my plain servo, took a little bit from this strip right here, put over it, cut it down a little bit, made a line over the top and a hole for the servo lead right here. And then I folded it down, and then I took the second strip and lined it up the middle with the rear of the servo right here. Went around with it all the way. Cut off at the end so it met back up back here. Made sure everything was all nice secure. Trimmed it up a little bit. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. With both servos having the vinyl wrap on them, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them, feed the wire through the top, just like that. Get in position, pull it through. Want to be a little careful to not mess it up, just like that. Alright, and then we're going to put in the 3 screws that hold it together. The 2 on top that go through into the servo guard, and then the 1 for the servo horn. Now that I have both servos plugged into channel 1 of the receiver, we can now take the top of the receiver box, slide it into the little groove down there, trying to get there we go. Make sure there's no wires in the way, and then make sure the steel's in the proper spot, and then push it down and screw in the 4 screws that hold it together. There's going to be 2 up here, and then you're going to want to take all the wires, push them in, and then put the wire tie down, and then put the 2 that hold that down in. Alright, for the final step guys, we're going to take the motor for the car, slide it on this little post. If you have the chassis brace like I do, it will be kind of tricky just because the shocks are a lot taller, makes it slightly harder to get in, but enough working, you can get in there. Come on, come on, come on. I hate this part. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to set this with the correct gear mesh. I'm going to put the screw in there. Now I'm going to take the ESC, slide it in place just like that, close the door, and then plug in the motor with the corresponding colors: white, red, black, or in most other people's cases it's going to be blue, yellow, and black, white. I just changed them let them up just like I said, because the shrink wrap on them currently before was falling apart, so I replaced them. And that's it, guys. Here is before, and here is after, guys. Check it out. I gotta say, that looked freaking awesome. I really, really did not like how it looked with just the bright blue that the Savox servos were made out of. Now, yeah, they're waterproof, which is nice, and that's their way of showing that they're waterproof, but for the theme of this RC, it just did not work. So now it looks freaking awesome. Now what I'm going to do is, after this, I'm also going to try and dye the chassis. I need to get RIT dye and a container to do it, because my family won't let me use the normal stuff to do it. Also might try and dye the ESC, maybe. Don't know about that. Probably not. But other than that, guys, yeah. So for this quality stuff, the vinyl carbon fiber stuff, actually really nice stuff if you know how to freaking use it. It doesn't stick too well at first. You'll kind of want to clean the surface before applying it, but yeah, it looks awesome, as you guys can see, and it just helps tie the whole red and black theme a lot better than it did before. But guys, thanks for coming in, checking it out, and I'll see y'all next time. And that was Velocity's level 7 upgrade.